DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts. Hey there, welcome to Duck Talks. This is the week of, what is this the week of? It's the week of Wednesday, March the 21st. I couldn't think of the month there for a moment. This month just keeps flying by. It's hard to believe it's the 21st. We want to thank you for checking out our show. We're going to talk about DuckTales. We're big fans of the new 2017 Disney XD reboot of the show. We like the old show, the original, the Disney Afternoon. We talk about video games, comic books. We're going to talk a lot about comic books on this episode. But before we get into all that, my name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts. If you read the description of the show, you're probably looking for some guy named Pirate Steven, but he's not with us this week. For a while now, he's been sharing with us that he had a baby coming, and that baby has decided to come. So he's taking a little bit of time off to spend more time with his family. It's going to storm here, so we'll see how long we can record, apparently. I got a lot of thunder. Sorry. Now, the person you just heard is my co-host for the evening. Is a good friend of the show, Josh. How you doing today, Josh?
Hey, good. 2 weeks in a row that you're having me on the show. This is a brand new record for me, I think.
Yeah, we decided, we wouldn't space it out this time. We just go ahead and have you back on. You did such a good job and almost got below an hour. We wanted to continue that challenge and see if we could get there.
I think it's safe to say that we're going to attempt to do that this episode. So we'll try to keep it under an hour, but I think we can keep the conversation going.
Oh, definitely. We like to talk about this stuff, and sometimes it goes on for hours, and I end up having to edit it. That's not true. No, we do a great job. So this week, we are going to talk a lot about the comics. We just had issue 7 of DuckTales come out. We've not had any new episodes of the show come out, so we're not going to get to talk much about that. And the reason why I bring that up, if you've listened to the show for a while, we do talk about the hiatus a lot. But if you're new to the show, it's probably because you're trying to get information about the hiatus. So I'm going to give you everything we know about the end of the hiatus. We don't know. There's no information out there just yet. Everybody's remaining tight-lipped about it. We keep watching. We keep hoping. As a matter of fact, one of the last things that we talk about is a segment we like to call Frankly Speaking, where we talk about some of the things that Frank Angonez, the co-producer of the show, DuckTales, has said on social media about the hiatus or the show in general. And so we do have something to talk about there. But before we get into that, Josh, I just realized something. You graduated college recently, so is this your first spring break without it actually being spring break?
No, it's going to be my second spring break. I graduated kind of on the off term. Normally it's in June or July, but in college they do 2 different ceremonies a year based upon where you're at in your degree. And I was supposed to do it during the summertime, but then they always happen to find a class that you haven't taken and give you that to take. So it took me an extra semester to get over. So this will be my second spring break of not being in college. It's kind of weird.
Well,
I wish my job gave me a spring break.
I feel you there. So I'm in my last spring break after going back to school to finish my degree. And so I'm in spring break right now this week, but I'm at work every day. So it's one of those things where even though I'm celebrating, actually I started celebrating last Wednesday because that's when I turned in my big project for my exit course. Mm-hmm. And why am I taking another course if I just finished my exit course? It's a sore subject.
I'm telling you, they like to just, oh, you didn't take this class. Here, take another semester. That's what they like to do.
Yeah, on a technicality, those 2 classes you took don't count. Now you have to take another. That's great. So anyway, yeah. So I have had a good spring break already. We went, my daughter and I, my oldest daughter, Lexi, she's been on the show before. We like to hike, and with me, when I went back to school, we've not got to do a lot of hiking. And then also, we've not talked about this a lot, but she, a couple of years ago, she was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease. So for a long time, she couldn't get out. So, but really, for the first time since she became ill, we went on a couple of mile hike this past weekend, up in a beautiful part of the Great Smoky Mountains. And we just had a wonderful time. It was amazing. It was great to be out. I hadn't been out in a long time, at least not for a few hours. And it was great. It was a great time. Really rejuvenating and just ready to knock out this last class. And then while we were there in the Smoky Mountains, or nearby the Smoky Mountains, we also went to a place called Dollywood on Sunday. And if anyone has ever been to Dollywood, check us out on Twitter and tell me about your trip to Dollywood. We enjoy Dollywood. My kids love Dollywood. I grew up going to Dollywood. Actually, we don't live that far from there, and I had a buddy whose grandparents, his grandmother worked at Dollywood, and so we got in free all summer.
Wow.
And so
nice.
We went to Dollywood a lot. But in the last 15 years, they've added a ton of coasters. I was counting. I think there's 8 roller coasters there now.
Oh.
And big coasters, not little ones. It also has some of the older little ones, but it's a lot of fun. The kids really enjoy it. So
yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. I've never been there, so I don't really know much about it. I'm all the way over in California, and then we have our own theme parks that we like to go all the time. So
right.
Actually, while you were there, I guess this would be my spring break trip. Is we went to Disneyland this past weekend, and while you were at Dollywood, I was texting you about pictures of some Disney Afternoon merchandise that I came across.
Yes, you were. I almost took some pictures of the Dollywood visors and sent them to you.
And I know you guys had kind of covered the merchandise that was coming to Disneyland and Disney World, but I was frantically taking pictures just in case you guys hadn't seen what all of them. I didn't know which one was being reported or not, so I was mass sending pictures, and I'm surprised you didn't send me a bunch of pictures of stuff from over there.
I had thought about it, but the girls just kept you know how kids are. They wanted to dart here and there, and the only time that I stood still was when we waited in line to ride the old cars, because it's one of those rides that's at the front of the park. And whenever we go in, my daughter always says, "I want to ride the first ride that we come to." And that's what every kid that goes to Dollywood wants to do, because it was a 45-minute wait to get on these cars.
Wow.
That we've probably rode. I have no idea. I bet I've been on these things 100 times. I was like, there's no way we need. And the rest of the day wasn't like that, though. But they really enjoy it because they get to drive the cars and the parents get to ride. So
that's pretty cool.
I'm trying to bring up those pictures because there was one. It was in our discussion with Pirate. Yeah, there it is. There was one that I was surprised by. The Rescue Rangers. It was a red shirt with a black ring around the collar.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen that one.
No, yeah, that one. It's got the actual logo with the lightning bolt on it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what all ones you've seen, but there were a few Darkwing Duck ones. One with Darkwing. It was a red shirt, and then had Goslin.
I like that one. A lot of attitude.
And then there was kind of like other one, Darkwing Ducks. He's got his cape up, mm-hmm. With both hands, and it's kind of like I don't know what you call those kind of shirts, but what do you call those kind of shirts where there's no sleeves on the sides?
I couldn't tell. Yeah, so it's like a.
The picture doesn't really show, but it's one of those kind of shirts where it's like a. I can't think of my mind as to.
It's a sleeveless shirt.
Sleeveless shirt, yeah, sleeveless shirt. So that's kind of a cool.
We have seen this one because we pointed out that his cheeks are white.
Oh, okay.
Because in the older shirts, they kept making his cheeks the same color as his bill.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then the Goof Troop shirt.
Goof Troop, yeah.
I had not seen that. And it's it's like shaded, because a lot of times they go for the retro look, and so you get a very flat color, but the Goof Troop shirt is like rendered. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to tell from the picture that I took. It says Goof Troop, and then where it says Goof, there are little dots in the picture that I took, and it's like I don't know if they're gemstones or what they are, but they're kind of shiny.
I'd be cute in that shirt.
It's not flat. Yeah. Then that's another thing. From most of the shirts that we saw, they were geared towards women's cuts.
Yeah.
They did have men cuts, but for the most part, like that one right there was a women's cut, and I was kind of surprised to see that, because generally what I have noticed that sometimes it's like all the cool shirts are either girl shirts or like sometimes all the cool shirts are guys shirts and the girls want. So it's really weird how they determine what they what cut they decide to do. But that one happened to be a women's cut.
So the Darkwing with Gosling and Darkwing is that a unisex?
That's a men's.
It's a men's.
I think that was I guess you could say unisex. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've heard this shirt has been seen in Orlando. So when we go there, that's a shirt I could see buying.
Yeah. And there was a DuckTales shirt too, as well.
It says 87.
Yeah. So did you guys see that one before?
I have seen that one in the background of some pictures.
Okay.
But that's the best I've seen of it, because you've actually pulled it out. Did you buy the shirt?
No, yeah. Didn't have all the money with me this time. My next trip, I may have to buy this.
So you didn't take any pictures of the tags. Are these like $30 shirts?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this one, the one that I took a picture actually has a tag with the...
oh, there it is.
It's $32.99 for the DuckTales shirt.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it is a little pricey.
But that's like normal in the parks, right?
Yeah, that is fairly normal. And if you're a pass holder, you actually will get additional discounts as well. I think it's 10% off for the lower passes, this pass holder select, for what they call them. I think all the way to deluxe is 10%, and then above deluxe is a 20% discount. So if you're a pass holder, you can get additional discounts on these shirts.
The Dollywood shirts are only $16.99.
Yeah, Disney likes to drive up the prices on that. And then the Rescue Ranger shirt, because you mentioned the red one. That one is a unisex shirt, and it's white, but it has all the characters on it.
Right.
And that one's actually pretty cool. We were thinking about getting that one as well.
Yeah, I like that one. And there's a Rescuers Down Under shirt, which just seems oddly placed.
Yeah, I think someone who put it there didn't realize that wasn't really part of that era. But we did see a Tailspin shirt, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that one's cool. It looks distressed.
Yeah, it's got that distressed look on it.
The pictures that we've seen were from Disneyland. So I believe the Rescuers Down Under shirt was mentioned. There was some conversation on Twitter about that. So
I mean, I love that movie.
Me too. I remember
one of my favorites as a kid.
Seeing it in the theater. I remember watching that one in the theater. I don't remember what year it came out. I think I was with my daycare. But it might have been after school, or a summer program or something. I don't know.
I remember liking that one better than the first one.
Oh,
and watching that one way more.
Yeah, that one was great. So, well, that's cool. And sounds like we both had exciting non-spring breaks.
Yeah.
If anyone listening has a cool spring break story that has to do with Disney Ducks, or Dollywood, you can check us out on Twitter and share with us. You can find us at DuckTalks. So let's see. Let's take a look at some news items that we have to talk about. So this one's kind of self-serving. I was excited to come across this online. On March the 1st on DuckTalks.com, that's our website. If you've never been there, it's a blog. And, we write articles talking about the show, talking about news, anything that we find out about when the show's coming back, or merchandise, just reviews, things like that. So check it out. We've had a lot of traffic recently. We really appreciate that. And we're looking to make the website something that, the DuckTales fandom would utilize. And, we're looking for feedback. I actually posted some on Twitter asking for feedback, and it was mostly positive. Actually, it was all positive. Pretty sure Jesse was the only one that put something negative. I'm just kidding, Jesse. I'm just kidding. It's just all in fun. Pirate's not here to do it, so I had to. Sorry. It's in my notes that I have to take a jab at you. No, we love Jesse. Jesse's one of our favorite listeners, if he's caught up yet. But yeah, there's I posted on March 1st a blog about my theory that one of the reasons, because we know there's more than one, but one of the reasons why DuckTales 2017 has not come back from hiatus is because the Disney networks are experiencing a little bit of a shuffle in their programming. We've seen a few things, and I've wrote a couple of blog posts about it, so you can get more information at the website. But there's been some indicators that some shows were moving, and it just made sense to me that DuckTales would be one of those shows. Now, they've not announced anything official, so we do not have official word on this. But we have heard, and I don't know the source of this, so I'm just kind of, I can't remember where I read it, but I know that I've read that when the episodes of DuckTales re-air on the Disney Channel, they receive better ratings, or they receive more viewings, more people are watching it, than when it premiered on Disney XD. So if that's true, then you want DuckTales on the Disney Channel. Now, they've also had some restructuring of their advertising department, and they were talking about how they were wanting to move things around so that each channel was more geared towards an age-specific audience. And so they were, Disney Junior was for the toddlers and the little kids, and the Disney Channel is going to cover the widest range of ages. Disney XD is going to be more of your tweens, and then Freeform is going to be more towards teenagers, and then ABC's for adults. And so, if that's going to happen, then you're going to want to put DuckTales in your channel that's going to have the largest audience, which is going to cover up to that 12-year-old range, which is what I imagine, is at least advertising-wise what they're gearing towards. Now, I think DuckTales 2017 is a pretty smart, show. I find it hysterical, and so I think it's one of those shows that they don't write it down to kids, which I think is part of the appeal for my kids. I just think it'll fit better on the Disney Channel and then re-air on Disney XD.
Okay.
So that was my theory. Okay. Well, and then this week there was a post by a Twitter account called Disney Television Animation News, and this is an account that I've been following since before we did Duck Talks, and they've posted great news on all Disney animation, and some of the stuff that they had posted, like they first shared the article in Adweek about the advertising and a few other things that kind of led to me putting this theory together in my head. But they posted a Disney Channel promo that has not been officially released, I don't think, which is why I pulled it from what I had posted, because I realized it did not look like it's officially been shown. But it's a Disney Channel promo, and it includes DuckTales. So either they're going to double down on re-airing reruns, or the show is moving to the Disney Channel. And I think it's moving. I think that would be a good fit.
The only difference between those channels, because I watch these digitally, I did like digital download. I don't have the Disney Channel to watch. So I don't really know the difference between the two channels, but you were saying that one's more geared towards a younger audience and one's geared towards
well, that's not the case currently.
Oh, okay.
But there was a article in Adweek at the beginning of the month actually it may have been in February, and it stated that they had merged two departments that included the advertising arm, and I think it was part of the scheduling and programming. So those two departments had kind of merged, and they were looking to segment their audience by channels.
Okay.
So it's changes that are coming to the current lineup, and we know that, and part of what led to this idea was that the Disney Channel's getting. Okay, if you look on the Disney Channel right now, I think all the animation on there are reruns. I don't think there's any original animation shows. I could be wrong. I don't watch it all the time, but the majority of their shows are those live action tween shows. Like I don't think Jesse's still on, but Bunked and all of those shows.
Okay.
So they're looking. They are going to start having original animation shows on the Disney Channel.
Gotcha.
I think it's also been stated that Big Hero 6 is moving to a different channel, which is why it's been delayed. But another issue there, and I'm trying to pull it up. Let me get it real quick.
Didn't you say? I thought I saw something tweeted about Big Hero 6 being like they've gotten a release date.
It's in the summer.
In the summer, okay, for the season. Such a big gap between that first hour-long episode to premiering. I'm glad DuckTales kind of kept going from their premiere. I felt like it would have lost some momentum if it didn't. But
right, yeah. The Big Hero 6. I think it's the same thing. I think it's this restructuring of the channels is what's caused all this lengthy hiatus for these shows. Because Big Hero 6 never actually started; it just did its premiere movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's in the news. It looks like there was that promo. It looks like DuckTales is either going to be more prominent on the Disney Channel, or it's moving to the Disney Channel, and then the reruns may be on Disney XD.
Interesting.
So we'll be following that, and just keeping an eye out on what happens. I saw that someone posted another video, and at first I jumped the gun and I shared it, and then I realized, hey, this has not been put out officially by Disney XD. But Disney XD does have a new promo coming out about the summer, and it does mention a DuckTales premiere, and that's scary to think about. That that the mid-season premiere may be in the summer.
Yeah,
which is not April or May.
Wow. Ooh, I hope it's just way sooner than not way sooner, but in the next month. I'm really hoping in the next month we'll get something.
Yeah, or at least get word on what's going to happen. I mean, I think at least knowing would be great. So, but yeah, more news to come on that, I'm sure. We'll be watching it. You can check out DuckTalks.com. When we know something, we share it. We don't always, and this is kind of our policy, we don't always share videos that are from unofficial sources, just because if Disney XD's got a promo and they're going to run it in May, we're not going to share it when it's March. We just want to wait and let them run it when they want to run it. We'll tell you that it's out there, but spreading it around, they're going to ask people to start taking that down if it's not supposed to be up.
Yeah, makes sense.
So let's see. Next thing, this was really exciting for me. Those who have listened to the show for a while, and I know you, know that I'm a huge Darkwing Duck fan. And so last week, I was on Joe Book's website. Joe Books previously put out the Darkwing Duck comic book by Aaron Sparrow and James Silvani. And there was something coming out that, they're doing the Cine story for The Great Dime Chase, which we talked about last week. I have seen. It will include 3 episodes. We had talked about how the first Cine story included the hour-long premiere. The Great Dime Chase will include 3 episodes. I don't remember if I saw what episodes were listed, But for $9.99, well worth it.
It makes me wonder if they're going to continue to do episodes.
I think they are.
in comic form.
Yeah, I think we're going to get these for every episode. I mean, we've already had. I mean, they already could publish, one more book and without needing another episode to air. So, or maybe two. Anyway, I was on Joe Book's website, and I noticed that they had a huge sale, and included in that sale was Darkwing Duck back issues from the old series. The old series as in 2016. And I noticed some of them were sold out, and they had the trade paperbacks on sale for $7.50. So I tweeted that out to let everybody know they were on sale. And then I decided, well, if they're on sale here, maybe they're on sale on Comixology. That's where you would go to get your digital. Darkwing Duck, I did a search. Nothing. It's not there.
It's gone.
Howard the Duck was there. DuckTales was there. Scrooge was there. No Darkwing. So at first I posted about that, and then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, well, wait a minute. Why would they pull a digital copy from the store? There's only one reason. Joe Books no longer has the license for Darkwing Duck comics. Now, we knew that was coming. We knew they had a period of time where they either had to produce a book or they were going to lose the license. That time has apparently come and gone, and I have had that confirmed. Joe Books no longer has the license for Darkwing Duck comics. I have also found that there are that Disney is interested in a Darkwing Duck comic book, and they have had some discussions in some form with publishers about producing it. Sorry about that.
So they're looking
hey Lynette, thanks for the retweet. If you're listening to the show. So they have reached out. Now I've also Nicole on Twitter, and I don't have her Twitter name in front of me, but Nicole shared with us on Twitter that she spoke with someone at IDW who currently produces the DuckTales comic, and they said, just in a conversation with her, that they were interested in the license for Darkwing Duck comics. So Disney's interested, and IDW's interested. Now,
hopefully IDW will pick it up.
And that sounds good. However, Dark Horse Comics is also publishing comics for Disney.
Okay.
They've just started advertising. I don't think it's out yet, but they've just started advertising a Frozen series. And they're going to do the comics for Incredibles 2.
Why are they it's weird to me since Disney owns Marvel. why are they selling or having other, I guess,
publishers?
Or that's the word I was looking for. How come they're having other publishers do their comics? It's just weird.
So my thought process on this, I used to manage a granite fabrication shop. And so I used to have to deal a lot with production. And production-wise, Marvel Comics has a limited amount of comics that they can produce in order to get them out on a monthly basis. There's a set number. Like there is whatever, they may not be at full capacity, but whatever full capacity is, that's it. That's all the comics they can produce. When you're pushing to that threshold, it ends up costing more money to produce the product. So there's a little bit of a buffer that you want to stay in. And then you start thinking about, well, what comics are they publishing through other companies? They're mostly all ages comics, and they're not their main character. They're not, Captain America, the Avengers, Iron Man, Spider-Man. It's a lot of the Disney stuff. So I think it has more to do with production value for these comics.
Okay, well, that makes sense. I see where you're going with it.
And if you think about, we've talked on this show a lot about Disney Infinity. When you think about what killed Disney Infinity, wow, that was close.
Wow, I heard that.
Yeah. I'm unplugged from everything right now, so I should be okay. So, now that my life's no longer on the line, I'm awful close to this window. What killed Disney Infinity had more to do with the fact that the cost of doing business was above a threshold for Disney's chance of loss. So it's the same thing with the comics. If you license it out to someone else and you say you sell a $3.99 comic and I get 20 cents, I have no idea what the number is. I'm just throwing something out there. Then I know that every comic you sell from my license pays me 20 cents. Whereas if I produce the comic and I produce however many issues and then I try to sell them to retailers and I end up sitting on a few, then I have a greater risk. So, that's what happened with the first Battlefront. They were looking at, that video game and saying, hey, look at all the millions of dollars, Star Wars made off doing this. There's no way we want to produce an in-house game anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for all of us, because we lost one of the best products out there.
I know.
But that's production-wise, that's what makes sense to me, and that may totally be untrue.
yeah, I think, but you got a point there, though. They only have a finite amount of resources, and they want to produce more, but ultimately it's probably better, I guess, for the consumer if more content comes out with other, I guess, publishers, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we can look at it this way. Disney is definitely feeding the comic market with products, and they're spreading it around. They're not just keeping it in house. So, our next thought after realizing that the license was available was that, hey, we as fans need to get the word out to these publishers that we do want this comic. I mean, we know they're interested in making it. We know Disney's interested in someone taking the license and making it. And we know we had a fabulous team on the last book. So I feel like as fans, it's time to bring #SaveDarkwing back.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think we need to bring Darkwing Duck back. If they're interested in it, they need to know that people are interested in it, or it's not going to happen.
Yeah, so on Twitter, we've posted a couple of times, and it's had a great response. People interested in getting Darkwing Duck comics. Everyone loved that comic. Anyone who gave it a chance, anyone that knew that it was there, that was the issue. And, I'm very thankful for Joe Books for giving, Sparrow and Silvani an opportunity to put out the book. But the advertising on the book, like when I went into a comic book shop for the first time in years, and I asked the guy, hey, I'd like for you to start ordering this Darkwing Duck comic for me. And he was like, Darkwing Duck? Wow, they're bringing Darkwing Duck back? That's cool. I guess that's from Marvel. And I was like, no, it's actually from a company called Joe Books. And he goes, who? I was like, Joe Books. They've actually been putting out a number of books for a number of years. And he was like, where do I order it from? And I was like, Diamond Distributors, the same place you order from everybody. We had to pull out the book and look it up. And, I was like, look right here. And he goes, oh, wow, they've got a lot of Disney books. And then he was like, well, why are they producing them through this company? Why aren't they doing it through Marvel? And I was like, I don't know, but they are.
Even if the retailer doesn't know, how is it going to go into stores? And if IDW or Dark Horse pick it up, at least they're a big enough publisher that it may actually go out and people will know about it.
So I'm going to say so a bunch. Go to Twitter, look us up. Actually, you don't even have to do that. #SaveDarkwing. You start typing it. I think Twitter will go ahead and offer it up as a suggestion because it's an older hashtag that's been used a lot. And let's get a conversation out there. Let's let IDW and Dark Horse Comics know that we want Darkwing comics and we will buy them. On to other news. We already talked about this, but there was a post by the Orlando Park News on Twitter that starting May 25th, Donald Duck will take over Dinoland USA, which I think he already has something at Dinoland USA, but there's a Donald's Dino Bash celebration taking place, in which Launchpad McQuack, Scrooge McDuck, and other friends will be there for meet and greets. So we just wanted to bring this up again because we're getting closer. People are planning their vacations. I know we have a trip to Walt Disney World coming up during the time that this is going on. We celebrated as a family when we found out that Launchpad and Scrooge McDuck were going to be there, and we're really hoping Darkwing's there. But we just wanted to bring it up again because other outlets are starting to talk about it and put it out there. I think this is going to be a fun event. I don't know exactly what all will be going on there, but just to have Launchpad and Scrooge McDuck at the park for an extended period of time, that's a pretty big deal. Pirate says these could last a year.
Yeah, it is a pretty big deal. I don't think I've ever ran into these characters at the parks, and I would love to have pictures taken with them. So even if it was just Launchpad and Scrooge, I would be happy to take pictures of them.
Yeah, I'm going to be holding that lineup.
You're like, we need a picture this way.
Yeah. All right, for my website, I need this pose.
Yeah, I need you to take a picture with just me, then just the kids, then me and the kids.
Yeah. And then we'll include their mom. Oh, my wife. Let's include her. Yeah. No. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. And I'll definitely share some of those pictures. If any of our listeners go to this and manage to, let's see, May 25th. So if you have a trip planned after May 25th, share those pictures with us. We want to see them. It's rare, so it's something to share and to show other people. I know whenever I see people with pictures with Darkwing or Launchpad or Scrooge online, I'm quick to like that and to talk with that person because I just think it's cool. The last time we've only gone as a family one time, other than this trip we're planning, and that was in 2015. And the only time we met Donald was at the Tusker House, which is a restaurant in the Animal Kingdom. So we didn't see Donald at all the entire time we were there. We were there for 5 days, other than that one time.
I know at Disneyland they have the Fab Five on like Main Street. Did they not have that at Magic Kingdom?
Not that we saw. I think there's something. I don't think they have that. I could be wrong. I'm not an Orlando aficionado. That's Pirate. But not that I saw. I know that at Epcot, we were able to catch Goofy, Mickey, and Minnie together.
Okay.
We caught, at Hollywood Studios, we caught Pluto and Daisy together. We had Mickey and Minnie together multiple times. Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom. But we never had an opportunity to meet all five at one place. And Donald, the only time we met Donald, well, I take that back. The Tusker House, all five were there. But they're all in safari gear.
Okay.
So we did not meet classic Donald.
Okay. Well, it looks like the Donald they have in the promotional picture for this Dino, the Dinorama, it looks like it's the Safari Donald as well.
Right. Yeah, because it's at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be that Donald. We're definitely going to catch, because it's a priority this time around, to catch Donald at the Magic Kingdom or somewhere in his classic outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I got one souvenir from the last time I went, and that was a Donald Duck baseball cap that says, "This is my happy face."
Mm-hmm.
And I still wear it all the time. Wore it to Dollywood. All right, so let's take a look. That is it for news. And we will move along to Duck merch. Woo.
Woohoo.
Woo. And we've got a couple of things here. My iPad's freezing up. There we go. So the first thing, Gravity Falls Cypher. They are at the Mystery of GF on Twitter. Posted last week on the 14th. Some pictures from we've talked about this book, the DuckTales Solving Mysteries and Rewriting History, fact checked by Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby. This book that's coming out, it's on Amazon. I think it was recently $8 and something on Amazon. We say this all the time, but for those who don't know, if you order from Amazon, do you have to be a Prime member to get the guaranteed price?
I don't know. I've never done pre-order with them, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so if you do a pre-order, you get it the day it comes out. You also get guaranteed price. So if you buy it and it's $12.99, which I think is this book's retail price, and it goes on sale for $8.26 at some point after you pre-ordered it, you get it for $8.26. If it drops below that, you get that guaranteed price. So I have already ordered this. We've talked about it, but this Twitter account posted some pictures from the interior because, I mean, we had no clue what this was going to be like inside. And it's made just like a journal that Scrooge McDuck wrote. And then the kids, Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby, went through and they added their own notes to it. And so part of it, like the pages that he found, I don't know who it is, the pages that this account found includes, some descriptions of the characters of the kids, and different colored markers, obviously going to be color coded to the characters as we know them, are in here over Scrooge's and changing what Scrooge wrote. And so it's pretty funny. It's, like Scrooge writes Bluey for Dewey's entry, and Dewey writes really above it. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I'm sure I'll have fun sharing it with the kids. And, there's entries here for the terra firmians and mythical creatures, leprechauns, werewolves, things like that. And this is stuff that Scrooge wrote about his adventures, and then the kids are going through and editing it.
Yeah, and it looks like it's a lot of fun. Like there's Scrooge's drawings, but then the stuff that the kids add, it looks like that kids' type of drawings are being added into it, and obviously with a different color-coded handwriting, who's supposed to be writing it because it has the different colors of the triplets, and then Webby's is like a pink color, so kind of who's talking kind of a thing.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun, and Pirate shared this in our chat that we have, that we're constantly talking about all this stuff, because we mean it. When we say we talk about this stuff every day, all the time, we mean it. My wife asked me the other day, I said something, we were just talking about something, and I said, well, I haven't talked to Pirate today, and she goes, do you talk to Pirate every day? It's like, yeah, I pretty much talk to with Pirate every day. But he sent us a screenshot, and then you looked it up and put it in our notes. This account also added that there is a Gizmo Duck poster that comes with it. Yeah. And you and I
got a picture.
Yeah, it's a really cool poster. I can't wait to hang it at my cubicle at work. But I mean, the character is going to look awesome. I've said it on this show before. I'll say it again. This is so much better than the original design.
It does pay. I believe it still pays homage to the original design, and you can tell that it's Gizmo Duck. But he looks so much stronger in the picture. I don't know how to describe it, but he looks like he's. The other one was more silly and goofy. This one kind of looks a little more tougher. Kind of can do more things. I don't know if it's about more things, but he definitely seems more sturdier than the original design to me.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see the animation for how the suit goes around him when he says the code word. And you and I were looking at this before we started recording, because there's a lot of text on this poster, and so it's a blueprint design. And it almost looks like it's like a hologram, so there might be something behind the image. Oh no, it's actually just the image again in the background. But there's some words here, and we were trying to make out what some of it said in this digital image, and we can't. But I do see copter, and it's pointed towards his helmet. So, I mean, I'm
he's
thinking
gonna have that at least.
Yeah, he's going to have the copter, the the blades coming out of his head or something for the copter mode. That's going to be cool. Mm-hmm. I'm just imagining him actually almost transforming in this instead of, just things sprouting out all. Because the original character as a kid reminded me of Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, I would say so too. It reminds me of Inspector Gadget. This design, though, doesn't have the TV like the original one, which I think that's kind of old tech kind of compared to now, where everything is so much slimmer than the big old TV in the chat.
Right.
He can probably do holograms of stuff if he wants to show different things. It's not something that's a little more high tech for this day and age.
Yeah, I mean, Mama's can watch her soaps on a tablet now. She doesn't need Gizmo Duck's abdomen anymore.
Yeah.
But, I would imagine he, shoots out a hologram or something now. I mean, because it's going to be future tech. A TV in your abdomen was future tech back in the late 80s.
Yeah, back in the day.
So, now we walk around with, them on our phone / camera / personal assistant / just all this stuff that no one ever imagined in the 80s. I mean, Gizmo Duck was the original iPhone, right?
Yeah. And this show's done a really good job at keeping up with the times in terms of its technology. And they have tablets, they have smartphones. It's done a really good job at updating everything to today's day and age. So I'm excited to see what Gizmo Duck's going to bring to the table when he gets shown. I'm assuming that the plan was that they were going to have and introduce him by the time this book came out, so it makes more sense. But I don't know if the timetables have changed at all, but hopefully we'll get to see him soon.
That's a good point. I don't remember when this book is coming out. I think it's in the summer. I'm trying to pull it up right now. All right, so it is on Amazon, still listed at $8.31. Free shipping for Prime members. Comes out July 10th. So, yeah, we will definitely have seen him by July 10th.
Hopefully. Crossing our fingers.
No, I think they're obligated for summer. I think. Oh, man, I hope it's not summer, but I'm starting to worry that it will be. Sorry, everyone. And that's it for Duck merch. There's we've pretty much covered everything that's out there right now. Those added details have been shared online, so we thought we would talk about that for a moment. We retweeted it, and again, that was the Mystery of GF for Gravity Falls on Twitter, and they're the ones that shared those interiors. We let them know that we appreciate that. All right, so moving on from the news. Last week, issue number 7 of IDW's DuckTales came out, and we've both read through the issue, and we wanted to just kind of briefly look at it and talk about this issue. I really love this issue. I've said it over the last couple of issue 6 was my favorite issue until issue 7 came out. And issue 7, I think the book is starting to feel, and for an audio podcast, this is horrible. I really don't know how to describe how I feel like things are just kind of coming together, but I feel like things are just coming together.
So let me start over.
Yeah.
This comic I actually really enjoy this comic. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the Great Chime Chase, because there's this one's formatted just the same as the other comics, so there's 2 short stories. But the first one deals primarily with Louie, and kind of like the Great Dime Chase, he's kind of laying back and not doing anything, and Scrooge drags them along to have an honest day's work. Mm-hmm. So it kind of reminds me of that in that sense. But then it kind of goes to like a ghost town type of place where he's planning on making this big old shopping mall. And then that part of it reminded me of a episode of the original show where they go to a ghost town when it's kind of like haunted. So it kind of, to me, reminded me of the new mixed with some of the old classic stories, which that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about the first little short story.
Yeah, they're both excellent stories. It's both of them were written by Joe Caramagna, so this is the first issue. I think this is the first issue where he wrote both stories, and I know he's writing both stories for number 8 as well, which he has said is his favorite issue so far. And actually, Frank Angones has posted that it was his favorite issue so far too. So we have a lot to look forward to. Before we go into we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but before we go into a little more detail on the issues, I do want to give you a spoiler warning. What we've talked about so far is, well, no, you're good. It's not anything that hasn't been in the synopsis already. So if you've looked at this issue at all, you already know that's the kind of what's in the story. And the covers, but there's your spoiler warning, just in case. The covers are excellent. They're a lot of fun. The B cover, everybody's probably seen the A cover at the Ghost Town. The B cover has a snake ghost, so, I mean, what's not to love about that? And then the R1 cover or RI cover, I'm not sure which one it is. I imagine it's probably an RI, is another one of the blueprints. So, and it's got Mrs. Beakley, so it's pretty awesome. And the first story is the Ghost Town story. I really enjoyed this story. I like Louis as a character. One of my favorite lines on this is when because he's making money on his phone and just kind of relaxing at the pool, and you see Donald's houseboat in the pool, so it's really I like the continuity. But Scrooge asks him who would pay anyone money for a balloon filled with spoiled milk. And Louis makes one of the greatest observations, comments on the internet when he says, anyone with a mean teacher, a noisy neighbor, it's the internet. People will buy anything.
It's true.
Yeah, I saw someone earlier today saying that they wish they had kept their Fast Pass tickets. I guess Fast Pass used to be on separate tickets. Because they wanted some for a project, so they went on eBay, and they're expensive. Really? To buy people's old Fast Pass, and I'm like, why would you? Why would that be expensive? Most time you throw them away. And I guess that's why it's expensive. Nobody kept them. Wow. But anyway, yeah, it's a great story. Scrooge has apparently bought a ghost town, and they get there to look for some treasure, and guess what? It is a ghost town. Everybody gets scared. It's pretty hilarious. One thing about the story, it does wrap up very quickly. Yeah. Once Scrooge gets involved, I mean, Louis gets freaked out and he's trying to run away, and Scrooge is like, "No, we got to go take care of this. This is my town. I own this town." And then they figure things out, and then they work it out in the end. But it's a great story, and there is a couple of lines in there that were really funny. And in the end, Louis is making money on the internet again.
And it shows, like what we were talking about earlier, how well they integrate technology in there. He uses a smartphone to make a website like right away and sell stuff right away. And it's just, I think it's almost, it's an ingenious way, because that's how kids are today. They're always on their smartphones, and the technology is all around them. It kind of needs to be in this, and I'm glad that they've kind of are breaching those cultural lines between the younger generation and our generation,
Yeah, and I was noticing that his phone has a green case on it, and I think that's hilarious, because I mean, how often do you see someone with a phone without a case on it, and you always personalize it? So of course he would have a green case on his phone. Yeah. And I'm not going to spoil there's kind of a surprise twist in the story. I'm not going to spoil it, but he uses his smartphone and the internet to solve their issue. So, so it's great, because I mean, Scrooge is learning something along the way, right? Yeah. And then the second story is called The Stone of Truth. And I thought the beginning of this episode was a lot of fun, just seeing the kids play around in the garage. Because the Medusa gauntlet's like right there next to them, and we know what happens if they touch it. Yeah. But they're sword fighting.
Yeah. They're just sitting there.
Yeah. And then we see a return of a character that was in the premiere episode.
Yeah, that's actually what surprised me because this is the character that a lot of people were thinking was the Butler,
Yep. Thought it
and
thought it was
and
Duckworth.
yeah, Duckworth, and he actually has a name. It's Sirius Axeldent. Is that a name?
Yeah, and I'm not sure that and I can't remember. Maybe at the end of the story we do see that it's his actual name, but think about it this way: Sirius Axeldent, and he's an
Serious accident.
serious accident. He's an insurance agent. Yeah.
I got it now.
But I'm seeing a continuity error here. Unless there were more than one statue. In that very first panel, there's a statue of Scrooge McDuck in the back that looks an awful lot like the headless man horse's new head.
You're right.
Joe, can you explain that for us? Maybe
it's in another another comic where they get to put the head back.
Yeah. He's probably got a number of statues laying around. Where was it he got he carved the statue out of something in the premiere? What was, I can't remember now.
I don't remember either.
Time to watch it again. So, Sirius Axeldent is a risk assessor for the Foul Play Insurance Company, and he catches the kids at home alone while Scrooge is off. And one of my favorite parts about this is when they say that Scrooge McDuck is on a meditative retreat, and then it shows an image of him and Launchpad on a hang glider being chased by killer bees.
Now, when you say he said he's from Foul Play, do you think that has any reference to the Darkwing reference at all for foul?
Well, at first I did. I got very excited. And before I even finished the story, I was ready to tweet Joe Caramagna and thank him. But when we get to the end of the story, it appears that he works for another company.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe they were using, maybe Foul is associated with this character. It would be very interesting to find out, and I'm looking. They do call the dog character Mr. Axeldent. So Sirius Axeldent is his real name.
Yeah.
But he quits. He decides I'm kind of spoiling things for you. I've got to give this away. It's Glom Gold. He works for Glom Gold Industries, which is where we last saw him. He was in the premiere episode sitting next to Donald Duck as they were applying for a job at Glom Gold Industries. So Glom Gold had sent him there to find something, and I don't remember what he was looking for. We'll let that be a mystery for the issue. So yeah, he's sent him there to get him some intel and to find something, and so I thought that was cool that they used that character and brought him back.
Yeah,
I am disappointed that he's not Duckworth.
Well, I guess that confirms that it's not Duckworth. So and people they were saying it wasn't Duckworth anyways, but this is another confirmation. Yeah,
we know that a future episode does show Duckworth. We know that we are going to see him, and it's actually going to be pretty soon from some things that we've seen online. Expecting him to be in the next couple of episodes, actually, at least in the background. I'm hoping it's a running gag that he's in the background. But I have watched the episodes that we've had, and he's not in the background of any of them. Not that I've seen. And I still have not seen him in any promo footage, animation.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at some point, if no one has seen him and all the episodes have been aired and they've introduced the character, we can get them to point it out.
Well, maybe. Maybe we do, and maybe we don't, because I could see that being one of those things. I'm having a moment. Is it James Gunn who does the Guardians of the Galaxy movies?
Yeah,
James Gunn. He mentioned that there was one Easter egg that is in both of the movies that has not yet been found, and that was like whenever that movie came out, not long after it came out, and he's still having fun with that online, that nobody's ever figured it out.
Yeah, I see people asking, "Oh, is this it? Is this it?" And they'll be like, "Nope, nope, nope." And that's true. So I guess it depends on on who's.
That would be very cruel. I don't think Frank's that cruel. What I'll do, here's my plan. If we don't find out after we get his introduction, I'll sick my girls on him. Did you see that? I posted from my Twitter account a question for him. Me and my daughter, we were having a little mini marathon where we were watching a few episodes, and she said, "Daddy, we've not seen the boys' bedroom." I was like, "That's a very good point." And she said she thought it was probably still in the attic, like the old show, and she wondered, if the boys had a triple bunk bed. And so we went ahead and we tweeted Frank and we asked him. I guess this could be part of Frankly Speaking. Frankly speaking. But and he answered. He said that the boys' room will be heavily featured in future episodes. And that it is the marble room. So it was the room they were locked in in the premiere. And they do, in fact, have triple bunk beds.
All right.
Yeah. So there is our scoop.
Our big scoop.
Our big scoop. The boys have triple bunk beds, and they are in the marble room. But we do actually have a tweet from Frank for Frankly Speaking. I'm not going to do the sound effect again. Sorry if you missed it the first time. But someone asked him, they did not link to our article, our blog, about DuckTales Season 2 starting in October. They shared one from another Twitter account. And let's see. And they asked if the show would be back in October. And Frank says, "This seems like old, incorrect info. We have no confirmation or knowledge about Season 2 air dates." Now, for those who don't know, this comes from the fact that there are two products currently listed on Amazon. One with a release date in October, early October, I think October 2nd, and the other one with a release date in November. Now, the one in October says to coincide with the release of Season 2 of DuckTales. And then the one in November says, now that we're deep into Season 2 of DuckTales. So there's a couple of products out there that kind of gave away the release of Season 2. But Frank's saying here that seems to be old or incorrect information. But then he follows that up by saying we have no confirmation or knowledge. So he maybe just doesn't know, and he might not have even clicked on this link to look. It does have a link to the Amazon listing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'd be surprised. I'd really be surprised if Disney has that product description, and if it's out there and it's inaccurate. I mean, yeah. I don't know that I've seen that with them yet.
Well, it could be that, or where it just could be where there's misinformation on there, or it could be right. Or Frank might not be allowed to sell us, and so he's trying to divert the question to something else. So yeah. we don't really know.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see. I mean, I was pretty confident and certain that I think I have 2 blog posts on DuckTalks.com about this being in October. One where we originally found it, and then the second time with the book coming out in November. They're both on books, and you can find those articles, those blog posts at DuckTalks.com, so you can get more information there if you want it. But yeah, Frank says maybe not, so we'll see.
We'll see. Well, I hope that it is that time, because we'll get more episodes by the end of the year for start of Season 2 at the end of the year, and then we'll already have gone through Season 1 and be itching for more episodes. So,
with the revelation of the Disney XD summer promo, I'm a little worried though, because my original thought was if episodes started airing mid-April and went with very little or no breaks until the end of Season 1, that would put us about July, maybe the middle of July. So that's deep into summer, which was when all the products and stuff are supposed to start coming out, the merchandise and toys. And then also a lot of books are scheduled for July as well.
Yeah.
And then that would give us a fairly short break to October. But if episodes aren't airing until, dare I say it, June.
Summertime. Oh.
Yeah. Man. But if then October may be too soon for season 2 to begin. So maybe that has changed and the product description needs to be changed.
Well, hopefully not, but we're holding out hope for April more episodes.
Hey, we told you we'd give you news. We didn't say it'd be good news. Man, I hate to think that it'd be that late. But, you know, here's one thing. We've gotten away from the positivity. I have, for some reason this evening. And we promised last week we are going to be your positive place to go. So, you know, here's the good news. In the meantime, we have 8 episodes, including a 44-minute series premiere, that are awesome. And every time I watch them, I laugh and I cackle and I have a good time with my kids. And every time we sit down and watch them, we can't just watch one. So we have those to watch over and over again. We have a comic book that is at issue 7. Issue 8 will be out next month. There's the Cine Story. There's the read-along book, which is actually a lot of fun. My kids love it. There is stuff out there right now. But in the meantime, and this is still part of Frankly Speaking, in the meantime, we have some DuckTales fandom, DuckTales community things going on. And so I found this because Frank shared it on, I think he shared it on Twitter. I know he shared it on Tumblr, but I think he also sent it to his Twitter. And he says, actually I'm going to go to the original post. Are they called posts on Tumblr?
I don't know. I don't Tumblr.
I'm an old man. I don't understand Tumblr yet. I keep trying to figure it out. So, this is a group of Duck fans who have put this together, and they created the account called March on Duck Fam. And so it's one of those, it's for people who like to do creative things. So it's for people who want to write a fan fiction, want to draw something, want to make a short, animation, or want to make a short comic strip, or maybe you want to make a page comic or a full-blown comic. I don't know. But it's for those creative people who want to make something. And it's just trying to get through the hiatus. And I think it's a great opportunity. And so March on Duck Family, it's DuckTales Family Week, March 25th through March 31st. They've got one day each week, and so where they're going, they want everyone to focus on a section or a family within the Disney Duck universe. And so it's a week-long event dedicated to the awesome families in Duckburg and beyond. They ask that everyone keep it safe and appropriate, have fun, and tag your post with DT Fam Week, and we'll be sure to reblog it. So, fanfics, art, whatever. And so it looks like a lot of fun. Pirate and I have been talking about some things we would like to do creatively. And so we're actually in a discussion right now about us doing something with this. So Sunday is the McDucks. Monday is the Ducks. So Donald, Della, maybe Daisy. Tuesday Dispels. Wednesday McQuacks. Thursday Vanderquacks. Friday the Mallards. And Saturday is free day. So do whatever you want. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Frank says, I like this. I was going to take this week to put up some fan art, and this makes my life easier. You're the best fans. So we just wanted to put that out there. We're going to share it. We've already shared it, and we're looking to see if we can take part in it. And not ready to say what we're going to do because we're still trying to work it out. But listen, if you're creative in any way and you like DuckTales and you want to take part in the DuckTales fandom, this is a good way to do it. You go to Tumblr, look up March on Duck Fam. So FAM, fam. And not fan, so fam. Sometimes I know my accent's hard to understand. I tried to enunciate. But it'll be a lot of fun. I think it's cool that the community, the fandom's doing that.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. I wish I was good at drawing and artwork. Or
hey, make a Donald Duck toy box and just post a video of it.
Oh, it's true. The Pirate made one a number of years back. He has one. But
he mentioned that. I actually need to, because I need to look and see if I downloaded that on the night when everything went down. I stayed up till like 3 a.m. downloading toy boxes. Mm. It's the reason why I need a hard drive now. I can't play new games because of all the toy boxes. But I digress.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun. Hopefully our community will participate and we can see what other people come up with.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what people do. So check that out. And I think that is pretty much all we've got for tonight. It's official. We went over an hour again.
Thought it was going to be short, but I guess not.
Yeah, it never is. So, yeah, that's it. Unless you've got anything.
No, I think that's it.
Are you mentioning me on Twitter?
I didn't want to know if I tweeted towards you guys if you would get a notification.
Yeah, I turned off my notifications on my phone. Apparently, I did not think to do it on the iPad that's sitting right next to the mic. So, yeah, just so you know, we just got done recording this episode. Oh, I have to see if I'm going to cut that out or not.
I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. Now I'm going to say a bunch of times, so this is definitely getting cut out right here. So that's going to be it for us this week. Before we go, we want to let you know how you can get in touch with us, because here's the thing. We enjoy talking about this. We've told you how we talk about it all week long. We talk about it on the podcast, but the whole point of the podcast is to kind of start conversations. What I really want to do is wake up on Wednesday and someone's already downloaded the show and they've already listened to it on their drive to work. And before they go in and punch into that clock, they just got to tweet at me and tell me that they saw the shirt at Disneyland too. That's what I'm looking forward to on Wednesday morning when I get up, is when someone tweets at us about the show. So at DuckTalks on Twitter. You can also find us individually. Now, my Twitter handle is at Infinirama616. If you can find Duck Talks, you can find me. But yeah, big fan of Disney Infinity, and that's where the name kind of came from. And but that's where you can find me. Now, Josh can also be found on Twitter.
Yep, I'm at CCRunner524.
And let's see, where else can you find us? Of course, we've talked, we've mentioned a few times I put DuckTales.com. I failed. DuckTalks.com, because we do not own DuckTales.com. That would have been awesome. But DuckTalks.com, you can find our blog where we like to talk about all this stuff, and you can join the conversation there as well in the comments, or those posts are on Twitter, so you can comment there. At the beginning of the show, we mentioned we're part of Res TV. Res is just, it's a group of podcasters who wanted to work together to get better at this craft and to produce a better, product. And so we're a member of Res TV, and you can find other podcasts at res.tv. And you can also, that's one place where you can find our podcast if maybe you found us on a device or on a podcatcher that you don't normally use and you'd like to see if we're on the one you do use. You can find us there and get there. For those of you, and there are many of you who use Apple, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, I would like to ask you to subscribe. I was looking at the numbers this week. I don't do that a lot, but I did take a look at the numbers, and it looks like about 25% of our listeners do actually subscribe. So, those of you who haven't subscribed, it's just the easiest way to catch our show. If you're already listening to us each week, it's going to automatically download, give you a notification that we're there, and you won't miss an episode or have to think about downloading the episode. We'll be right there on your podcatcher, or I guess we'll be on your iPhone if you're listening on Apple, or an iPod. Who knows? We don't discriminate.
We just need to get those 25 subscribers to leave a comment of the podcast and give us as many stars as you can. That way the podcast gets spread more and more.
Yeah, that's a great way. I know when I'm looking at podcasts on the app, I do look at those reviews and see what people are saying. We have a few reviews right now, and we would really appreciate if you take an opportunity just to hit the star. If you'd at least, if you just hit those 5 stars. If you don't have time to hit 5 stars, wait until you have time to hit 5 stars. But if you could do that, if you can give us a review, that will, man, we appreciate that, because that's going to allow other people to get a better idea of what this podcast is like. So, thanks for mentioning that. And that's going to do it for us. Josh, any follow-up?
No, I'm just excited for another episode of Duck Talk. Sorry we kept it long. I was trying to keep it short today, but I think we had not a lot to talk about, but we talked a lot. So
I think that's the best way we could put it. So until next time.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later.